Welcome to 5 Minutes of Peace, a time for you to reflect, recharge, and renew. 5 minutes to awaken something within yourself. Created by thepeaceroom.love. On today's episode, we have a special guest for you. Please enjoy.
Hello, this is Jill Amy Sager. Thanks to 5 Minutes of Peace, I'm here to read from my latest book, Guidance from the Universe, Hopeful Messages for Everyday Challenges. This chapter, titled Hope, is in 3 parts. Being that I channel information, this first part is a message from the universe about hope. And then I'll read my personal story highlighting how this information informed my life. And last, I'll offer some questions to help jumpstart your musings on this topic of hope. But first, this message from the universe. Hope is your guiding star and must remain no matter what the day brings, tragedy or goodness. A life without hope is no life. Hope is your way out of the dark. Hope keeps you in your life's light and holds the light for others. Life is what you have, so we ask that you remain hopeful and live a life steeped in light. Now my story. Being laid up in bed wasn't a new experience for me. From ages 9 to 12, I endured frequent hospitalizations and surgeries that sometimes kept me flat on my back for months. Back then, when I couldn't do something for myself, my requests for help were often ignored by nurses who had neither the time nor patience to cater to my needs. My parents juggled full-time jobs. They visited me in the hospital in Manhattan when they could while providing for my siblings at home in the Bronx. Overwhelmed by their suffering, left little room to care for mine adequately. I learned at an early age how to fend for myself. Self-reliance was a survival mechanism as a child, but it seamlessly morphed into stubborn independence as an adult. I became reluctant to ask others for help because the thought twisted my stomach into anxious knots. I faced this predicament again in my mid-40s after a hysterectomy. I lived alone. The pain became unbearable on that first morning back home from the hospital. I couldn't get out of bed. How was I going to feed myself or get to the bathroom? The idea that I should rely on someone brought familiar turmoil. Caught between the needed help and my inability to ask left me emotionally paralyzed. I felt hopeless. I descended into what appeared to be a dark hole. The bleak space I had always imagined, the ocean's depths, frigid, black, and unwelcoming without sunlight. I had neither anchor nor rope to keep me from drowning in sheer terror. I wrapped my comforter around me tighter and drew in a spontaneous breath with such force that my lungs filled as if blasted by a powerful air compressor. I saw my chest rise. This shock brought me back to the surface. I felt the soft sheets beneath me. I noticed the sun's brilliance for the first time that morning coming through the windows, bouncing light around the white walls like mirrors. I felt warmer. I pushed my comforter down to my waist. Hope had returned. I lay there contemplating the simple truth of my situation, resolved to do the one thing I needed but had been unwilling to do moments before. I picked up the phone and called my friend. Without hesitating, she said she would be right over. I felt another surge of hope as I accepted her loving care. She hadn't denied me. When hope left my world that morning, plummeting to an unfamiliar place of desolation startled me. On more than one occasion, that devastating time has kept me snuggled to hope whenever I feel it slipping away. I've seen the alternative, and that is no place I want to revisit. Now, these questions are designed to help you discover hope's role in your life. What does hope mean to you? How does feeling hopeful influence your life? Have there been circumstances in your life that have made you lose hope? And if so, did hope return? How did you regain hope? What I have come to understand about hope is that being optimistic doesn't mean I deny my troubles, as in, don't worry, be happy. Feeling hopeful is the only way I can live with my troubles, and hope keeps us all resilient and flexible, no matter what comes our way. This is Jill Amy Sager. I want to thank you for joining me and 5 Minutes of Peace. You can reach me at JillAmySager.com. That's JillAmySager.com.
Thank you for listening, and thank yourself for taking 5 minutes of peace. If you would like to know more about the Peace Room and our Reiki treatments, crystal healings, and workshops, go to www.thepeaceroom.love.